welcome back to the Career Build Series. This is episode number 117, and so we're right where we left off last time here. We have Triton. We're sailing up to Komodo to dump off a couple of these containers. If we go ahead and we look at the map here, we're presently just leaving FJ. We're up around here. We're going to head underneath the bridge here to the south of the island here, up over here, and then we'll stop at Komodo. We have a couple containers to drop off there. So it was a fun episode. Last episode used the new container mover, loaded it into the garage. I got a lot of crane practice, which was fun. I love using the crane. So we're all set here. We have containers on board. We'll go ahead and we'll time lapse the journey to Komodo, and I will see you when I get there. Alright, so we've arrived here at Komodo, and so let's go ahead and get docked. So we'll dock here, we need to dump off some containers, and then we do have one per spy cakes. So let's go ahead and we will start going forward. And so we're going to we'll put our port side on the dock. So not too bad of a trip there. So we're going to plan ahead how we want to dock here. So we're going to come up to the north, and then we're going to turn to the west. And we'll put our port side up again. So kind of think about the architecture of the dock there. We have a rock right there that we need to be careful of. Come in a little bit fast here, and then we'll slow down. So we'll put these containers on the dock there, and I'm trying to decide if I want to use my portable container mover or not. We might just use the shifter to be a little bit quicker. That way I can get on to some other things. Also see what's there. Next stop is going to be spy cakes. And so I don't want to put too much stuff on deck, so I probably won't load anything that's not spy cakes. That way, if I need to do some work on Triton, or if I feel like doing something else, I can. So I don't want to overcommit where I have to do too much here. So I did actually work on a new version, or an update of Triton in a live stream. The mushroom is pretty close to being done. So it is ready to be loaded on, used, and tested. So I had to put on a new pad on the front, need to put on the drone controller. So I may keep our container loading just to spy cakes so that we can do that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to desync and reduce out starboard to help that turn there. And we will go ahead and stop. Alright, let's shut off vehicle damage. Again, I don't like to have that on for when we're going up against the dock because it is unrealistic to have the ship explode in a normal docking operation. So go ahead with third person, we'll take a look. So we're currently just, I have the stern pinned up against the dock, and I'm using the bow thruster here to try to push us over. So what I'll do is start getting ready to put some lines on. And I should probably grab a rope before I go down there. So, whoa, that was, did not mean to jump that much. A little bit of a slowdown here. I have a lot going on. Alright, there we go. We'll grab a rope. We'll get ready to, oh, there's the ladder right there. Beautiful. That's the harbor gens kicking on here. There we go. Right, so we're pretty far back from any sort of cleat. Probably should have moved forward, but we're good here. I can operate from here, so not really designed to tie off here, but we'll do it anyway. Of course. Of course. We got ropes that I don't need. Alright, let's tie off. We'll go back up to the bridge and we will shut off the thrusters. Let's be careful and leave our doors shut. There we go. Yep, it's going down. I did build the ship. I didn't know where things are. Alright, let's go ahead and we will shut down the thrusters and we will shut off our main engines. Harbor gens will automatically operate themselves. Go over here and we will go ahead and put on the, it's actually this way, put on the mast light, seeing that we're not underway. There we go. Alright, beautiful. See if I can get off this sucker. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll dump these 2 containers on the dock here, so we need to check and see which ones are which. Oh, this one expired. Interesting. It did take me a little while to get here, so that if that one is our spy cakes. Okay, this one's a spy cake, so this was one of our ones here. So this one expired. That's too bad. But we will pick this one up, put it on this one, and pull them both off. Those are our deliveries. That will reduce what we have to do. Alright, so let's go ahead. We'll get in the crane here, detach, and I just need to hook up to the container mover, which is still stowed. I hit that on the top of the container. There we go. A little bit too far. Perception's a little bit tough at this range. There we go. Alright, good. So let's go down there and we will configure the... Oh, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Go ahead and we will configure the containers so that we can load up here. That was the exact one I didn't want to do. Alright, good. That will re-grab. Alright, good. So we're going to go ahead and... I'm going to wait on the tops. It's, you know... It's very tempting to rush and do that now, but if the containers grab, it's going to be devastating. You know, it's really going to shake the containers around, potentially have physics problems. You know, so... Sometimes you'll get into trouble just rushing, so it's better take your time. For example, I was going to click the top connectors and the bottom connectors in this one. That could have led to a lot of heartache where it was just, you know, the ship goes flipping out and I have to reload the save. It wouldn't be the end of the world reloading the save, but, you know, it's frustration. And so it's best to just take your time, get it done right the first time. You know, I think a lot of it can be, a lot of these problems can be fixed with a little bit of patience here. So get it lined up here, just a little bit of height and out. There we go. All right, so let's go back down. So it only takes a second for me to get down there, and it saves me a lot of problems. So again, this one is Spy Cakes, this one's Komodo, and this one's a Komodo that is expired. So, and we'll also click that off. There we go. All right, good. So we have a double stack ready to be offloaded. So we're going to come in so we don't hit the helipad. As it goes up, it's going to push it out, so we just need to come in. And then this is a little bit tricky getting this to rise and not hit the helipad, so we'll just bring us towards us with the stick, and then I need to rotate it. A little bit of a challenge getting to without, you know, you really, of course, IRL, you wouldn't want to be bashing these into things. That would cause problems. In game, it's not a big deal. All right, so let's go ahead, and we should be high enough to get over all the obstacles. We'll dump these two. I don't think they're going to register. Oh, they did register. Okay, perfect. So that one registered. I thought we were going to have to get it closer, but we're good. So let's actually go ahead and we'll just put this on deck, or on dock, rather, and we'll leave them here. So they're delivered. They'll eventually despawn. So we got the 11,000. That more than covers our fuel for this trip. So go ahead and I will place that, and then I think, where are we at? F8 is my disconnect, so I can disconnect it here. Alright, so we're good. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to just get set up for the next one. We're not going to, of course, unload it yet, but I will hook the container mover to that one so we can re-energize it. And I'll stick this one and stow it on top. I don't think we're going to get a container. I think we'll get out of here. Let's take a look. Might as well take a look. If there, you know, is a quick spy case container, you know, this is just max level efficiency is going and getting everything that we need. So I'll go ahead and we'll take a look. I don't want to have to unload the container loader if we don't have to. So, you know, there are a couple bases, like I was talking about last episode, that I really need to have a portable one that I can bring with me. And then if I don't have to, it's more efficient for me to take things like the shifter, because I can pull two and I can move a lot faster with that, and I can drive it. So, you know, it's always important to use the right tool for the job, frankly. There's a spy case for 52 minutes. We could take that. BVG, JSI, Source South, FJ. That one is NFJ. That's Sawyer South. So for $3,000, it's not really worth it for me, I don't think, to take this. So we're not going to bother. You know, if this was worth a little bit more money, I would consider it. But for $3,000, I'm not really all that interested in loading it. It's going to take me a little bit of time. And so let's go ahead and we'll head over there to Komodo, Spy Cakes, rather. We're at Komodo. And we'll go ahead and just deliver this last container. So make this a quick stop. You know, if I had like two and they were worth a little bit of cash, I would do it. But that's $3,000 just to load the one, so it's not really worth it to me. I have to pull out the shifter, and then I have to move it, and then load it back on. You know, for $3,000. So if it's a little bit more, I'd probably do it. But I think the top's probably not energized here. Yep, the top's not energized. So we'll go ahead and we'll energize the top. A little bit closer would be better. Let's, it's fine. We can do this here like this. All right, we'll stow that on top. Actually, you know what? Let's not. We don't have to worry. Yeah, let's stow it on top. It will save me a little bit of time later if I stow this. There we go. Okay. And we'll go ahead down. I need to disconnect it, so I keep forgetting what I'm doing here. So let's go ahead. I need to put a little bit of up pressure on that So just going to pull up a little bit like so. That puts a little bit of up pressure on it so that when I disconnect, it will pop up and they won't reconnect. So let's go up here. I'm trying not to do too much no clipping, trying to kind of move as necessary for a realistic experience. So you see the flexibility in that? That really helps with preventing problems here. All right, good. So now those are misaligned, so they won't reconnect. And we'll go ahead and stow the crane for travel again, and we'll be underway. So bring the stick all the way in. We'll press 4 to re-engage the locks on the locking tower. So not too bad. You know, that's 11 grand. We, you know, we didn't burn an insane amount of fuel coming up here, but we burned some fuel, and that 11,000 more than covers that fuel. So as we're traveling around, you know, we can still interspace some rescues and everything else, so kind of keep that in mind. What I want to do is max efficiency when we're running a very expensive vehicle like Triton here is the more money we can make, the better, of course. So let's go ahead and get moving out. So we'll turn on the diesels. Go ahead. I have a line on the bow, so we need to take that off. Let's get that bow line removed. Alright, there we go. Alright, so bow line is off, so we're ready to get underway here. That's the down. I keep screwing up my directions here. Alright, we'll thrust off the dock. I'm going to go ahead and we will zoom out and we'll start getting this course set up. So pretty quick trip to Spikex. And we don't need to go too far. I can always motor us in manually. Alright, good. So that's in. Let's quickly review the track. So I want to make sure I don't hit... There's a couple little islands out there. I want to make sure those islands aren't in the way. That looks pretty clean here. Yep. And so we'll come just to the south of the dock. So that's good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and I want to start coming up on port. So we'll put in... we'll correct this rudder here. As you can see, get that rudder angle down. We're desynced. We'll start coming up on port. Alright. And we'll start to put in pretty much neutral rudder here. And we'll start to come back on starboard. And I'll start to add a little bit of rudder, about, I don't know, 20 degrees, something like that. And as you can see, that's going to help twist us. That rear screw is in reverse, or the right screw, the starboard screw is in reverse. And the port screw is forward, and that's giving us a nice turn. We're going to increase the rudder angle. Shut off the thrusters. Alright, now we're going to start to increase port and increase starboard. Start to also take out our rudder. There we go. What happened to my track here? Okay, good, it's there. Alright, and we'll sink. Alright, good. We'll go ahead and we'll engage the autopilot. Alright, autopilot is engaged. And so we're underway again, so shouldn't take too long for us to get over to Spikex. here we are. We're at Spa Cax, and so let's go ahead and we'll start getting ready to dock. So I think how we want to do this. We want to spin around. Probably not. Let's put our stern to the... What side's the container on? Container's on the starboard sides, so we'll go ahead and we'll put port side up there. That'll give it a little bit of fun trying to dock this up like this. Alright, so you need to watch the rocks here on the left side. There's another one there. I'll start to slow down. And we'll desync the thrust here, and we'll just catch that starboard back up. There we go. Alright, we'll start bringing the starboard into reverse. Start to kick the stern over with the stern thruster. Start to push the bow a little bit. We'll give the stern a good kick there, and we'll give the bow a kick. Bring up stern to neutral. And we'll start to bring the bow down, or the port down rather. And we'll start to... I'm going to just decrease the stern thruster so we're a little bit more level, and then we'll start to sink, and we'll back it up a little bit. A little more stern thruster. There we go, a little bit of reverse. Start using our rudder to angle us a little bit better. There we go, start bringing the stern around. The cameras work and I can use them, but they're not working correctly right now. So we'll go to the right on the rudder there. Keep the stern from hitting. And so if you look, we're just kind of going in diagonally, sideways. Looking pretty good. We're going to bring the stern back. There's a, looks like, this is a bird. Thought it was a loot crate for a second. So we need to bring the stern to the dock. So if I had my camera, I'd be able to see it. But alright, bow thruster will zero out so we don't slam the bow. Alright, we'll zero the thrust and we'll use the thrusters for the, zero the engines, and we'll use the thrusters for the remainder of it. As you can see, looking pretty good and even now. Alright, we'll cut down a little bit of stern thrust. And we're docked. So let's go ahead and we'll zero out the thrusters. We shut off the mains. And we'll go ahead and we'll tie off. So a nice little bit of docking there. Let's go ahead down. I need to grab that rope. So Triton's coming right along. Did some updates on a live stream. Doing a lot of live streams lately, so if you're interested in those, you can go ahead and check the previous ones on the YouTubes, and I'd love to see you guys join and comment in the live streams. It's been a lot of fun having everybody in the community in there. So anchors, that's set rather, the rope. I put the rope from the stern. I have extra ropes, but I want to try to keep them somewhat where they belong. Grab this one, and we'll use this for the stern. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't fall off the dock, you ding-dong. There we go. Okay, good. So not a too shabby of a docking job there. You know, it takes practice, you know, so it need to be careful of that rock, but, you know, even with Triton being having a pretty deep hull, it's still not a big issue. All right, good. So we're hooked in there. Let's go ahead and we will pull this container off. Let's check it here. So this one has an hour left on it, so we're good on time. Now press forward to disconnect. And we'll grab that connector, and then we should be good to go. Probably should have just dropped it on the deck, but it just takes me a second to go down there. Let's go up and in. There we go. All right, good. So let's go detach that from the deck, and then we can offload. So it's been fun doing some container stuff. It's always nice, you know, when we're going from port to port, we might as well bring some containers with us. So it's, you know, certainly not the primary job of this ship, but it, you know, one of the reasons when I built it, I wanted to add that functionality is it's, you know, it's a good way to keep the operating costs low. So, for example, you know, we went to Komodo, and that was $11,000 container more than paid for the fuel that we needed to get around. So it keeps profitability, you know, nice because we can offset some of the operating costs by putting some containers on board and make some profit too. We get some good containers, we make a good bit of profit. Alright, so we'll go ahead and we'll detach that. Alright, so I'm going to leave the container mover on the deck, on the dock here, rather. We'll pull off the container mover. There we go. Alright, let's go jump off onto the dock and disconnect that. I should put a little up pressure on it. Let's see if I can kick it when it disconnects out of the way. There we go. Just move it a little bit so it's offset so that it won't reconnect on us. I like doing those manually. It saves me from buttons and microcontrollers. And it's, you know, you probably have a manual latch on some of these things. You might have a hydraulic latch on things, but you could also have a manual one, so. Alright, we'll get ready to offload the mover. One of the reasons I'm offloading the mover now is I need to work on Triton. I've got a more recent version, so I do want to put it in the dock, so. And so we're going to pull this garage hatch and pull the mover. And then we can use that mover. It's not very far. It's just right over there is the despawn area where it will accept the container, so don't have to move very far. Alright, good. So let's go ahead and we'll hook that up, and we will also get the garage door ready. So here's the winch unit. Where you at there, guy? There it is. So I'll be doing a little bit of Star Citizen videos. My favorite ship finally came out after many years. And so I'm kind of looking forward to doing a little bit of that. I'm not too hyped because, you know, the game's kind of a mess, but I have been looking forward to that ship for many years here, and so I will be doing some live streams of that probably. Alright. So I want to stop the upward motion for a second there. Need to be careful here, so I'm going to just give it a little bit of slack. There we go. So there's going to be some cool things I can do with Triton, especially with this new pressurization update coming with the space DLC. I'm very much looking forward to that. Let's make sure I don't get stuck in the hole there. All right, good. You know, I really want to get some subs going. That'll be nice. Diving bell would be cool. There are a bunch of underwater rescue missions. I've only really done one, which was just to service the underwater base. So I'm looking forward to some of that content. That will be fun to do. You know, so I've been kind of waiting for the pressurization update. I think that's going to make submarines a lot more fun. So really looking forward to that. The pressurization major update. Space a little bit less. You know, I'm really interested in some of the new things they're doing, but you know, I'll probably enjoy doing a little bit. But the you know, I'm really looking forward to the pressurization update. And you know, I'll probably grow to love the space DLC as well, or the space portion of it. But you know, right now, until I kind of see what there is to do and some of the there's a purpose. For example, it'd be kind of cool if they had some rare minerals to mine on the moon. That would give me a little bit more incentive to go up there. But we'll have to see what comes of it and what there is to do. So, all right, so let's go ahead and we'll draw this up. There we go. So, pretty cool here. This thing. You know, I think it's a neat little machine here, and so it's nice to have these little machines. That's one of the reasons I love this ship, is it's, you know, it's like how people are attracted to aircraft carriers. You know, it's a neat concept to have, you know, kind of a nested Russian dolls of vehicles in vehicles. I really like that concept, and so it's kind of nice to have a suite of vehicles, and it also gives me some good inspiration on things to build. For example, I just built the Mushroom, which is a, you know, drone for observation. It's pretty much, you know, it's a little flying drone that can go out there, and pretty much its main job is to use its cameras to kind of spot for Triton. So Triton's not slow. Triton goes the appropriate speed for a ship like this, but it is, you know, certainly not as fast as some aircraft. And so one of the things you can do is when you're searching for a ship that you're going to try to rescue with Triton, you can send that drone off and use it as an observation platform, so that's kind of cool. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll detach that and we'll deliver this container. Alright, good. Let's go ahead and we will grab the remote control unit. Need to turn this, I think the breaker's still on. Okay, good. So this has been a fun little build, this container mover. It was frustrating for a little bit, you know, because it weighs so little, it is very picky. You know, you have something that weighs a lot less than what it's carrying, and so you have to get the physics just right, or else it's not going to be happy. So, we'll go ahead and extend the arms. All right. And I need to go over there and re-energize the container as I shut the container locks off the bottom. Alright, good. Whoa, 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 don't do that. Okay, so that's not ideal. That's great, that tipped over. Okay, that's not the end of the world, so let's go ahead and detach it. That's not great there, but, alright, so, let's see. Let's get this fixed here. So, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it here. Let's see. How to do. Let's stow this controller. So a little bit of emergent gameplay here. Try to think if I can. I don't think I can hook multiples on there. Let's get the crane. Actually, I should have stayed up there. Let's rope this off. I'm gonna just throw this flare gun in the water here in a second. All right, let's grab That's what I was afraid of, is it still has a motion set in the crane there. Oh, come on, just get on the ladder. Being particular here. I'm like gonna have, oh, it's actually working. That's actually working, beautiful. All right, let's stop it before I have mass problems here. Okay, so container is now fixed. So, actually worked out for the best. Let's drag this container around. All right, and so I need to go out there and detach it again, and I need to, let's make sure, oh my god, don't fall off the ladder, you ding-dong. All right, I'm just going to no-clip here. I'm having a little bit of a slowdown here, so grab this rope anchor. Okay, I want to actually leave that attached here, and attach it to the mover, and we'll go back and we'll flip it with the crane, so. See, I don't know why I can't, there we go. Probably because I'm behind the railing, I can't grab that ladder. All right, so we're going to go nice and high on this, and then what I'm going to do is raise it up. And I have my crane to the right, and the reason is I want it to swing over to the direction of the crane, and see it swing. Now I'm going to go down and to the left, and that's going to set us up there perfectly for where it needs to go. So, you know, like anything, you know, using a crane is a skill. I've done a bunch of, never done a crane, but I've worked forklifts, you know, some large telehandlers and stuff like that. So IRL, so that's been gives you a little bit of some work to do and a little bit of skill to develop with some practice. So it's a fun thing to do. But, you know, it's like with a lot of these things, you just kind of have to understand how the physics is going to work, how the motion is going to work with operating heavy equipment. And if you can kind of anticipate what's going to happen, you need to think ahead. You know, I talk about you don't want to get behind the airplane, and the same thing is true with any sort of heavy piece of equipment. You really don't want to get behind it. You always want to be in charge of what's going on and kind of anticipate the next move. All right, so this is going to go, that's all the way out. Okay, good. Let's back it up, and let's try to grab. A little bit of a physics slowdown here. We're at dock with Triton. Have a bunch of different independent bodies. So devs have talked about with the new space DLC, there's going to be an update with how these vehicles are handled, hopefully to try to help with some performance. Oh, see, that's, oh, don't do that. Come on. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I want to go W, and I'm going to try to force this to go forward. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back here. All right. All right, so I need to pull this in. Let's go. So I think as the physics gets slowed down, sometimes this doesn't want to behave itself. This container was also very heavy, so let's actually, let's see, okay, let's try to drag this really quick here. Let's see what we can do. So this container was pretty heavy. This was on the heavier side. I don't know if they're all the same now, but this one felt like it was, this one, it really didn't like doing it. So what I should do is, currently what I have is the pivots will automatically go all the way over. What I should do is change that. We're in trouble here again. All right. So I'm going to switch equipment. I think there's a physics issue with it just getting slowed down. There is a way I can make this work a little bit less automated. Currently, I think this system is too automated, this mover. And so the problem is that arm will go all the way across on its own. And what I needed to do was just lift the lip up and essentially drive the vehicle under it. So I need a little bit more controllability than I have. And so that is an issue. So I think that's something I'll do to further refine that. So I use these career sessions a lot as as kind of a time to do some testing, and so I think it's beneficial to do some testing and figure out what's going to work better. And so one of the things I think will work better is making that arm a little bit more manual. So instead of it going all the way to the left or the right, what I'll do is I'll make it so that I command it going left or right, and that will make it so that I can, for example, pick the container up a little, then try to drive under it, but, it's having a physics issue here. We're just in super slow down mode, so. Alright, so we'll get the shifter out of here and use this to just quickly grab that container. And we'll push that sucker back and get it despawned. I'll get it flipped and, we have to despawn everything anyway. I need to despawn Triton and get Triton put back in the bench so that the new version of Triton can come out and play, so. Start using the drone, so that'll be fun. Get the new mushroom drone in there, so it's Shroom for a ship-based, remotely operated observation machine. So it's, all based for essentially observation. So it's essentially camera platform, and it uses its superior speed to Triton to be able to get out there, help with search and rescue, and find some other cool things for it to do. But it would be kind of cool to have a little drone to operate. Alright, so we'll go and try to see if I can't grab this and pull this out of there. The way I have it, it's not giving me a ton of space. I'll be alright though. I should be able to drag this, so we'll jump out and I will go and we'll de-energize the bottom and we'll energize the top. And I'll grab that one link there. I wonder if I can get these narrow enough I can grab the side of the container. That'd be interesting. Let's test that really quick. That might cause problems. I'll want to do a test before I do that, so. Alright, so let's back it up. I'm just going to grab a corner of this. And we'll grab that front right corner. And I should be able to drag this. IRL, you wouldn't want to be dragging them. You'd be damaging the concrete with the steel and the steel with the concrete and making a horrific noise, and it just not be wise to do. But, of course, that's the benefit. I talked about how I think some of the, people's complaints about the sliding mechanics and some of the slippery wheels. I think part of the reason that probably they like doing some of that stuff is, same reason why I talk about you want some flex in your build is it essentially gives you a little bit of a sacrificial element that will go. So, for example, there are a bunch of use cases where the game will allow the wheels to slip when they wouldn't in real life, and it actually will make some of your creations a little bit easier. You don't have to get the physics perfect to make a car that works. If you didn't, for example, like IRL, you won't spin your tires when you're in too high of a gear. What you'll do is you'll stall, and so that would be frustrating for especially a lot of new players, that if they don't get their gear ratios pretty perfect, they're going to stall their car and their car is going to be unusable. And so one of the things to gamify the game and make it a little bit more approachable is the wheels will spin if you're in too high of a gear. That wouldn't happen IRL, and so the benefit of that is that you don't have to have your gear ratios correct all the time. For example, people will talk about, their wheels are always spinning, they'll upshift and the wheels are spinning. Well, in real life, your wheels wouldn't spin. What's happening is the game is allowing traction to break free, and so, personally, I would love it if it was more realistic, but I think it would also make it a much more challenging game for people to play. For example, I pushed that container mover with my character's body. There's no way I'd be able to do that IRL. And so it's a little bit of a gamified thing that allows us to kind of, get rid of some frustration, as you can easily, move some of these things with your body. So, if you have to get out of the crane for the 10th time because you're not precisely where you need to, if you can just gently slide something, that makes it so that it's a little bit more approachable as a game. And so, sometimes, perfect realistic physics is not great because you have to You have to really engineer things perfectly to make it work. And so a little bit of a gamification makes it more approachable for others. All right, let's get in there. All right, beautiful. All right, so that is returned to the bench. All right, beautiful. All right, so I think we'll, I think that was a good amount of stuff to do. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode.